Whew. That was a pretty good pre-show. I can tell you that much.
There's a lot of stuff going on, man. A lot of side talks. Not as much wrestling talk, but some pretty funny stuff happening.
Yeah. So that was we had to cut it short, but we're back. That was like a 40-minute pre-show. Just by the way.
Yeah.
That'd been a good pretty good pay-per-view one, but we're back.
I think if we ever did the pay-per-view one, there'd probably be a lot. Like there'd be some people that really enjoy it, and there's gonna be a lot of people that probably get their feelings hurt.
Yes.
There's a different side to IndianaMat that they probably aren't ready to see.
Oh yeah. So I believe my comments should work today. I'm trying to get them to work, and they don't seem to be working. So, episode 169, and last week of the regular season this week. So, that's going to be going on. Trying to get final rankings done. Got probably, I don't know, you might get another set out, I assume, this week, possibly.
Yeah,
not.
I think there's a little bit of shake-up. It'll be close. I mean, some of the corrections that I had from last time that people kind of, hit me on. Like, I'm not, afraid to tell people I mess up. Some of the, hey, what happened here? I'm like, that's me. That's my fault. But, so some of that, and then, there wasn't a ton of wrestling this weekend. We had the new Polar Vortex. So, a couple people canceled. But there was definitely some matches going on.
Yeah, definitely in the, yeah. I'm not seeing. Definitely the northern part of Indiana got hit, and some events were canceled up north or postponed. The big my thing stopped. I cannot. The big Crown Point Mount Carmel duel got postponed till tomorrow. At least it's supposed to be going on tomorrow.
Yeah, they said that they're going to have it go tomorrow. All schools are canceled, but the meet must go on.
Yes, the wrestling must go on, so that is happening, and I do not know what's going on with my software.
We were kind of saying on pre-show, we got a nice, pre-show call from Coach Hawkins, too.
Yeah.
He's out with Mr. Hector Mendez, enjoying some Crown Point nightlife on a Monday.
Celebrating Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
Celebrating Dr. King's birthday, man.
Yeah.
So we were saying it, but we didn't ask Bill, but, Crown Point was supposed to wrestle tomorrow, possibly Wednesday, and they're on the schedule for Friday, so that's, and then Saturday, the DAC got pushed to Saturday.
Yeah. So, yeah, they could be weighing in 3 or 4 times this week. That's not a fun week. I don't care if you're cutting weight or not. I mean, other than Paul Clark, I think everyone else probably at least has to watch their weight.
Yeah. No, we don't got the comments. I see Eric Spikes in there. Appreciate Eric. Eric bought a Super Bowl square from me.
Oh, nice.
So I'm selling the winners, man. I sell the winner every year. OC's, I'm selling Super Bowl squares. I think it's maybe semi-illegal gambling, but it's for a good cause.
Semi-legal? Oh, yeah.
If you want to get a Super Bowl square, hit me up.
Yep, there you go. I got the comments up.
I can't guarantee I'm going to sell a winner, but I have sold winners in the past.
Nice. Yeah, my comment thing is kind of locked, so I can't get to those, and I don't want to restart everything. So, so last week was a little bit kind of funky. I was kind of off the grid a little bit at the Cubs convention. As you see, I got a new Cubs hat, so had to sport that. So, was getting information here and there. Got rankings out on Saturday morning, of course.
Was it cool when Shohei Ohtani came out?
It was Shota in Managa. Close. Wrong show, but...
Did he come out for real? Because there's no chance if I live somewhere even remotely, nice. If, probably Dansby Swanson probably lives in the South.
Yeah.
If I lived anywhere remotely nice, there's 0% chance I'd have been in Chicago this weekend.
Yeah. He was there. They just had the official press conference earlier in the afternoon, and he showed up, and they said that he'd been living in Chicago since around Christmas. So,
dude, this time of year when this happens, I'm always like, why do I live in the Midwest?
Yeah, me too. I'm driving today. I'm cold. I did not want to go to work. I didn't want to leave the house, but yeah, it was kind of cold. Luckily, everything was indoors, except for you had to walk across the street to a different hotel for some autographs, but that was shorter lines there, so I didn't mind doing that. Yeah, it was a good time. It got to see the players, got to hear them speak. A lot of them, I think pretty much everyone made it. I think there were a few that did not, but it was pretty cool. If you're a Cubs fan. If you're not a Cubs fan, probably not pretty cool. Nick Madrigal did say that Cubs Con was way better than the Sox Fest. So.
Okay. Well, the Sox Fest canceled, but Nick Madrigal's garbage, anyways.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Man, Kim would always give me a hard. I'd watch these Sox games and Nick Madrigal would come up, and I swear I felt like he came up every time with bases loaded. Oh man, here we're going to a double play every play. Like, he makes such high contact right to the second baseman every time.
Yeah, he makes contact. Yeah.
It made me so mad.
Yeah. No. It was. They had like a kids only press conference. It was really cool. And the kids were asking questions, and Patrick Wisdom was really good with the kids. And one of the kids challenged him to a push-up contest, and they did a lot. Pretty cool. It was pretty cool that they kind of you see that they are actually humans, and pretty neat to see their personalities. Then when they get traded, you feel kind of bad for them because you're like, man, these are good people. And they just get traded, and shuffled around like my fantasy football team that I don't have. But
Didn't you see Moneyball, man? They're professionals, man. You gotta just tell them straight out. They'll take away a champ.
Yeah. So
Joe Hansen, I'm reading that Nepsco bill too, man. Man, it's bad.
Yeah, it's chilly. So anyway, I guess the first order of business.
But not all the stuff in the North was canceled. Some of the stuff was canceled, but not all in the North.
No, it wasn't. It was just kind of weird. So
tougher schools. The tougher schools said they're going to go for it.
Yeah. Like, from what I could tell, let's see, the tournaments, the Mild Bill was canceled. We do not call it the Wild Bill anymore. Garrett Invite was canceled. But Northern Lakes Conference, which is Mishawaka, Northridge, Northwood, Plymouth, Wawasee, that got moved to this Saturday. Greater South Shore wrestled,
Yeah.
They don't mess around.
Players there.
Yeah, Calumet Warriors don't mess around.
River Forest won it. They beat Calumet by 6 points.
Hoosier Crossroads wrestled. Northern Indiana Conference, I believe, did they get postponed?
I believe so.
Yeah, I don't know why I don't have a bracket for them. Woodland Invite got canceled. That got canceled. I think that was about it. Adams Central Invite got canceled.
DAC got moved to this Saturday coming up.
The DAC got moved. And I think that was it.
The NCC was wrestling. So that's like the crazy part is like Greater South Shore wrestled, the Northern Crossroads Conference wrestled, but DAC got moved.
Yeah.
Maybe like kids missing school. I don't know.
Yeah. Too much canceled again this season. This weekend. Too much sun. Yes.
The Hobart Brickies took down the NCC.
Yes, yeah. They Berkeys don't mess around. They're gonna wrestle the NCC. So, so it was kind of weird. Some of the events that got canceled. I was in Chicago and it was cold, but I didn't really venture out too much after we got there. A little rainy on the way over there, and snowy on the way until we got to about Warsaw. So.
Yeah, I drove to Indy for a softball tournament at like 1 a.m. It was pretty bad. The wind drifts were pretty bad.
Yeah. Yeah, So, I guess the first order of business is our first rant and rave. People commenting that we don't give them enough love. How many teams have said that we've given them too much press or coverage?
Well, one, no one ever says we give them too much.
Yes.
No. I mean, every now and again, you'll get like an old school coach be like, "Hey, keep our names off the message board, but just so you know, we can fly under the radar, or like whatever." It's like, okay, but like, no one ever says that they're giving them too much love.
Yeah.
But man, everyone feels like we're giving someone else too much love.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's funny when you talk to, especially the coaches we talk to on a pretty regular basis. They always, it's usually in jest, but it's like, man, you guys aren't talking about us any and stuff. But everyone complains that we don't give them enough love. Sorry, get in line. There's 315 schools that say we don't give them enough press or credential stuff. So,
They said Michigan City couldn't travel. That's why the DAC got moved.
Well, then just pick them up on the way.
Yeah, I think I know that you made a post today about it. Like the better teams, like obviously when you have a lot of guys ranked, it's easier to talk about just because they're in the mix. There's a lot of guys in the mix, so you do feel like if you have 8 to 10 guys, 8+ guys ranked, it's easy to say like, hey, like we'll talk about this because they're always going to have guys in those weights that we're talking about. So it feels like you're getting overkill, you know. And honestly, that's kind of like the argument for class wrestling, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
like
yeah.
We are kind of watching the large class meet because the bigger schools are comprising the most of the state finals. And I like having the single class, but like I get it. But it's hard. Like we do a 2-hour show, give or take, every Monday, give or take. But it's difficult. Like there's 300 how many schools in the state?
310, 315.
Yeah, but like social media stuff, like if they put it out there, like we'll see it.
Yeah.
Like I saw everyone posting today, and I think that was cool.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I mean it's one of those things that number one, I'll be pretty blunt that your coach and your athletic department's the one that should be promoting your program, not IndianaMat.
Yeah.
That's.
It's not Go ahead.
That's the biggest thing is, number one, you can promote your own program and it's free. You get on Twitter, make a couple graphics and throw those out there and
who is this?
Someone that we'll talk about Crown Point enough. Don't worry. Actually, no, because I didn't wrestle last week. But anyway, yeah, you can create a post and you can promote your own team. I mean, we're going to talk about the top teams because those are what people want to hear about. People don't want to hear about.
I go that page. We like Floyd Central too.
Yes.
We talk a lot about Sisson.
Yeah, we do. We talk about Sisson. We love Floyd Central. We love the Highlanders. We love Floyd's Knobs. But yeah, and it's like one of those things that people never think. They always think that we talk too much about. But when there's big matches going on, that's what we want to talk about. And we can't talk about everyone. People are like, oh, well, you should have posted all the, posted our team's state walkthrough thing that they did for the girls. And I was like, if I do it for one, I have to do it for all 20, 30 of them that I saw on Thursday and Friday. So I don't have the time to do.
If they tag you in it, like on Twitter, does it come up on the timeline anyways?
I see it a little bit better, but I still can't. I mean, if I retweet one, I'm going to be retweeting 1,000. That's.
I think it's. I think that's cool, man. But like, I'm not like you can't like share every single one of those.
Yeah.
Like I think it's cool, like at Fargo when it like has the updates on the Twitter. Yeah. But then after like I look at like 10 results, I'm like, all right, man, I'm cool. I'll just go to the bracket now.
Yeah. No, that's.
Unless it's on Full Arena, and I still hate that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah, and coaches, literally, coaches are the ones that should be promoting their programs. It's free. Do it. It's one of those things that we're promoting everything overall, and it's just a we can't there's a little thing when social media, there's a little bit of I think I have a pretty good grip on what drives engagement and everything like that, but at the same time we can't overshare, because if I start sharing everything on Facebook of just everyone's stuff, and then you're gonna block it. You're gonna say, no, I don't want this stuff, and I do it all the time. If someone overshares, I don't want to. You gotta find a good happy medium.
Same.
With that, and Twitter's a little bit more of you can kind of overshare, but you also can get to a point where you do overshare, and people get tired of that. So,
who does like who's a team that does a good job of like sharing their stuff? Like who's a good team like on Twitter?
On Twitter, man, I'll give a shout out to Crown Point and Hobart do a good job. So there's our Crown Point sharing. Floyd Central does not have a Twitter. Sisson is anti-Twitter. He must not like Elon Musk. Elon Musk.
But man, he's on Facebook showing them leg jumps and them jump ropes.
Yeah, and Instagram. So, but yeah, I think
books and jump roping.
I think Hobart does a good job. Garrett does a good job. You know, and it doesn't have to be a lot. It just has to be promoting your program, and you know, when your kids win, you know, or when they're ranked, or you know, see, now I'm getting, you know, those people, you know, those ones are good ones. They're not. They do a good job when they see rankings. They post them. Mishawaka does a good job. I don't know.
What about whenever like the preseason magazine comes out and they like share all the entire magazine?
When they share the entire page, that gets a little bit under my under my skin.
It's like a buffer, man. It's like when you get a number, you got to wait 3 days before you call. You can't just
yes.
you know, buy the magazine day one and they share all the information.
Yes. Weimer does Noblesville does a good job. You know, the Miller Boom. Weimer loves his emojis.
Noblesville does do a good job.
Yeah. Yeah. It's Johansson's saying Instagrams, but I don't like Instagram because it's not a chronological feed, and in order to get information out, you know, I'll see something a week later. I'm like, oh, cool, that's neat. You know, that's the biggest thing I don't like about Instagram. And plus, you have to have a picture with everything, and sometimes I just want a quick blurb of, hey, do this. But yeah. Joe Clark says we just need to start at heavyweight more often. But yeah, Instagram is not. I'm still not a big fan of Instagram just because it's not in chronological order. That's the main thing. Is like if I want information from Instagram, I can't. I'm not getting up to date. I might get 2 or 3 day old stuff, and I'm still scrolling and trying to find that. I wish they'd fix that. Everyone else, I can, you know, Twitter and Facebook, I can get by the day. So,
Fisher does a good job too. I was trying to I was just scrolling Twitter as you were talking.
Yeah,
trying to see.
Yeah, there's a lot of teams that do a real good job, and it doesn't have to be a whole lot. I mean, it's a matter of being. To be honest, has to be just consistent, and that's the biggest thing I can say. If you guys want my advice on social media, be consistent with it. Then people will engage with it. People will know that they're going to get that information. So that's one of the biggest things that I can say is just putting stuff out on a week, you know, every couple days basis. It doesn't have to be every day, but when some news is breaking, you know, put out information, put out pictures. I was like the Crown Point hard hat pictures when. Well, Clark has looks like a kid's size extra small hat that's like on his head.
Nah, Justin, man.
Yeah. So yeah, but you know, promote your kids, promote your program, and I think social media. I think there's some good schools that do a really good job of it, and you know, I'll share some stuff that I think is cool, but I can't do it for everybody because if not, I'm going to be sitting here just pressing retweet every 5 minutes, and it's not going to be any fun, and you're going to get sick of seeing that stuff, you know. So you got to be really selective, especially when I see as much stuff as I get. So, so that's our.
But I did see Emirates High School posted on that post.
Yes,
that they had good sportsmanship. Yes, I love that picture. We were talking about that a little bit in the pre-show. We got an American flag, and what I think is where Canada and Russia come to the point. I'm not sure whether they use that part of the globe, but I like it.
Yeah, they have the eels. I did not realize they were the eels. And
yeah, man, their logo is the bad eel from Little Mermaid. So, pretty awesome. So shout out to Emirates High School, man.
Yep, there you go.
I didn't even know it was that. I had to look it up. It's in like Martinsville.
Yes, it is. So, wrestling this week. What are we gonna? I guess what happened last week. Hoosier Heritage Conference, pretty solid conference with Delta, New Pal, Greenfield Central, Pendleton Heights, Mount Vernon, Newcastle, Shelbyville, and Yorktown. Wow, Yorktown was last. That's a pretty solid conference.
Yeah, it's a really good conference,
especially for not really having crazy big schools. It's all kind of like 3A, 2A schools, Boyd over Barnhart in the finals by pin. Boyd's pretty good. Bollinger decision at 113. Bollinger over Bayless 10-5. Jet McGuire over Cade Jackson.
I believe that Cade had beat him earlier in the year too. 2-0. It's a good match.
Neil Mosier over Eli Brody 4-2. So that was a good match for both those guys. And Gunnar Butt got third. Tells you how tough.
That's a pretty solid weight. Max Bowers had a really good record. I've seen at North Montgomery. Keegan Carter and then Lincoln Parsons pretty solid too. That's a solid weight.
Yeah. The Bowers just got into the Newcastle rankings. Tylen Thrine over Sam Mosier at 132. Gavin Whitehead over Justin Boone. Peyton Hornsby was third.
I think that was in the semis again. I think Hornsby and Whitehead was in the semis again, like it was at Spartan Classic. I thought it was a close match again. Yeah, 4-3.
Okay.
Whitehead over Hornsby.
I need to pull up the brackets because these are some, man.
Hornsby only got 3 losses, 2 to Whitehead. I think 1 to Kyrell also.
Yeah, man, Hornsby got. Covington from Pendleton Heights 27-3, and Hornsby beat him in overtime. So that's a pretty solid weight class. Jared Harlow got a 5 seed. He's been in and out of the rankings. That says it. Jack Todd.
He lost to Covington 2-1.
Yeah, Jack Todd beat Wyatt Hoppus from Yorktown in the finals. Hoppus over Colton Robness 3-2. So that will be a fun one for the rankings. Bryce Doss got third over Robness. Robness took 2 losses, doubled his losses. I really like that conference because it has a solid, just good core teams that all have some solid kids and real good day of wrestling. 4 seed.
Yeah, you got some Fort Wayne teams. You got some Indy teams.
Yeah. You got Elijah Alonso of New Pal over Cannon Zuber, and then Shady Bryant. I saw the SH.
I thought maybe you were watching the Lions game yesterday, seeing Eminem there.
Brooks McKeenan from Mount Vernon at 157 over Jaden Jeffries. And then Cabe Stevens having a pretty good year, undefeated right now at 165. Pinned Mason Thompson of Greenfield Central. Braxton Russell over Silas Fry at 175. Clay Gainan from Greenfield Central over Colin Wetzel. And then 215. Devin Kendricks over Sean Glass 5-3.
It's a good match.
Yeah, heavyweight Braden Fleener over Isaac Moss. The ever exciting 1-0 heavyweight match. Moss beat William Glessing, who's been in and out of the rankings in the semifinals. So, really good tournament. Delta won by 16.5 points. Greenfield Central were both kind of in the mix there. That's a pretty close tournament, for the most part. So, always a good conference there. So, let's see, what else do we have? What other events were going on? Northern Lakes Conference, the Greater South Shore, Sagamore.
Are you doing a girls state recap show this week too?
Yes, I believe so. That will probably be Wednesday. I have not talked.
All right, then we'll leave that one for you guys.
Yeah,
because we didn't talk about girls state.
Yeah,
I just don't want anyone to say you didn't even touch on girls state. Like that's yours and Brandon's thing, man.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. It was a good event, and I guess we can touch on it a little bit. It was a great event. New Haven won. Lots of good upsets and lots of great matches, and looked like it was pretty well ran. Got some great pictures from there, and lots of it's continuing to grow. I know Falcons was there. They used IHSA match, which I believe that's a good sign. So
yeah. And did you guys? I didn't get to watch it last week. Did you guys explain why you were wearing that crazy hat?
Yes, yes. But then I did.
Okay.
They must have allowed them to wear them on the podium because there were some with the girls with their hats on the podium. So that's
Nice. I seen that too.
yeah. So that's good. I'm glad they were allowed to wear their fancy hats. You know. So Mid State Conference, Perry Meridian over Franklin. Martinsville was third. Let's see any big results there.
I thought was it 113? Yeah. Kerry Leone over Brandon Leonard. That's a good match. He didn't get a fall. I mean, I don't know how it was going before that, but
Let's see. Keegan Murray over Bryce Beckham. Some names Anthony Corliss over Jacob Adkins. Not very many big time ranked matchups, which is kind of crazy with these schools that are there. Huckabee over David Abode, 3-2 in tiebreakers. Sear Goodwise over Noah Sumner. James Leclerc was third at 175. 215. Cullen Fellier. I cannot pronounce things right now. Wins. He's only a freshman. He's got 8 losses on the year. He's going to be pretty good. And then Jacob McClure of Perry Meridian having a good season. He was ranked number 1 in the semi-state. I saw that. He's one of the changes. Let's see. The Hoosier Hills, I believe, Columbus East beat Floyd Central by 2.5 points. So they keep going back and forth. Isaac Campbell over Ethan Pulling. No. Jessup was at 13. Jessup wrestled 113 for Columbus East over Tom Nguyen. Tony Kessinger over Luke Kirshner. Any other big ones? Caleb Kirkpatrick over Vince Kessinger. I think the finals was pretty much a Columbus East Floyd Central duel. Anything else? Noah Bana over Lincoln Cooper. Bray Emerine won.
That's a good match.
Which one?
Noah Bannett over Lincoln Cooper.
Yeah, 7-6. Spencer Fain over Colin McMahon. McMahon has 12 losses as a freshman, placed at L. Smith. That tells you it's going to be probably pretty good in the future. Let's see, heavyweight, Justin Brown won, so no big crazy matches there. The other big one was Hoosier Crossroads Conference, where round 2 of Avon Brownsburg.
I had to switch where I was looking at track. I wasn't following. I was trying to find it. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Gotta go to this week. Go to the previous week. Hoosier Crossroads. Eli Ogle from Brownsburg's gotten a lot of time lately, which is very interesting.
It'd be interesting to see if they do it 106. I mean, they have 2 really good sixes. I think Mason Day and Eli Ogle are both really good. That's a good win.
Yeah.
Mason Bowles is really good.
Yeah, so that's a good win for him. Dickman, a high-scoring affair between him and Rio, 4-3. Absolutely.
Man.
Sounds like
he's good. That has to be incredibly frustrating. I mean, I know those guys train together too, but you think they'd get a gentleman's agreement, I'll go one way, you go the other, right?
Yeah. Rio got a takedown in the second period, and then Dickman said, "I'll just put you on." You got 2 near fall, and then with about 30 seconds left in the third period, and then Rio with a late escape, and then you have someone like Sully Frazier, who's pretty solid, ended up third there. So that's pretty good. Pretty good conference. You have Avon, Zionsville, was that Franklin Central, Westfield, Noblesville. Who's the Fishers, Brownsburg. So Preston Haynes over Chase Yant. Yant over Temples. Temples was a qualifier last year, so that's a good win for Yant. Yant's having a real good season.
Yeah, and it's good to see him now at 120. I know he wrestled a lot at 26. I believe the majority of his losses, I think 2 losses were at 26, and then, he might have lost at 32 also.
Yeah.
Richard Rogers, solid. Chase Klein, a solid freshman. That's a good weight.
Yeah. Yeah, Rogers been in now the line. Rogers lost to Klein and ends up wrestling all the way back, beats him for third. So got a little revenge. Rogers had to beat Temples and then he beat Klein. So that's a pretty good day started the day off bad, but then comes back and gets a little revenge. State qualifier Porter Temples is sitting at 5th in there. That tells you how deep that conference is.
I'm sure that's going to be fun for the rankings. All those guys trade losses.
Yeah. Luke Rio over, Braylon Reynolds. They're going to battle it out throughout the state tournament. Jake Hockaday is good.
Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah. Quentin Sheff over Gage Clark, which is a good win for him. Man, Sheff's only a sophomore. I swear he seems like he's been around. Obviously his brother, I thought he was a junior.
I think there's another chef too, right?
Yeah.
I think there's a middle school chef also, so we get 9 years of chefs. It's be great.
Brady Eisen over Seth Syra, 7-2. Syra beat Tion Leonard in the semis, 2-0. Parker Reynolds over Chris Kessler of Hamilton Southeastern. Kessler beat Hank Fennessy. Hey, I got that right. In the semis. Tommy Gibbs over Moses Stevenson.
Now correctly spelled Moses Stevenson in the rankings.
Yes. Not Moises. Mason Day at 157 over Aiden Kincaid. Kincaid, a pretty darn good freshman.
Yeah, 3-2. That's a good match. I think Kincaid's had a couple wins over Zach Lang this year too.
Yeah, he beat him in the semifinals. So that's that's a good win for. 26-4 for a freshman, and you're going through that that conference. That's pretty good. Xavier Smith, another freshman wrestler, having a good season over Jesse Daringer. Daringer beat Carter Richardson. Carter's not quite on pace to have his 20 losses this year. He only has 6, so gonna have to have a rough week to get up to that.
Yeah, he was kind of a sneaky state finalist last year. So he got hot at the right time of year and made a run of the state.
Yep, and that's what it takes. Richardson ended up 3rd there. 175, Gage Gully over Griffin Campbell. Campbell beat John Mangus in the semis. 190, Gunnar Henry. All right, the one match we were hoping for, 1 versus 2, Henry and Panola. I couldn't think. Did not happen. Panola did not wrestle. So Henry walked through the tournament. I assume Julian Burgett is... Actually, no. I guess he's probably not Dom. Maybe Cousins there. I was thinking he was at... I always get HSC and Fishers mixed up since they're basically the same school. Then Caden Brewer at 215 over Evan Lawhead.
I had having a really solid year. He got into the state rankings this past time.
And then Austin Hastings over Maximus Forrester. Forrester beat Orzadare from Avon. So, and then Franklin Central always Daniel Jones 1 and 3. I think it's like in the IGSA rules that Franklin Central has to qualify a heavyweight for state every year. It seems they always have a couple good upper weights there. So,
I don't know how you say that guy's name. Orisandre. I like that.
Yeah.
Orias Andre. I don't know.
Let's see. Any comments that we're missing? Julian is Dom's brother. Okay, so he is the professor with the information. So, so what did they say about a couple? Going to be a few 106 bumpings up to 113. Interesting. Okay, so we will go.
Conference Indiana, Terre Haute South over Columbus North. Terre Haute South really did a good job, 311 to 237.
Yeah, they have a pretty good team. It'll be interesting to see how they, oh shoot, I didn't even have the bracket there. There I do have it. Yes, Terre Haute South has a pretty good team. It'll be interesting. They're going to be coming out of the South. Where do they go through? They go through like Bloomington, don't they?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Jackson Jean over Nolan Riley. Keegan Godsey, 27-3, third. Keegan Dressler of Southport over Cale Thomas. Keegan Dressler pretty solid. I think he's in the rankings, or he's right on the outside. I know he's been in and out. 28-5. Will Rader of Terre Haute South over Kane Roberts Gray. Nathan Bryan, 24-2 sophomore over Jason Shuey. I believe I just added him, just kind of like before I put all the numbers to it. I know Shuey's been in and out of the rankings. That's a really good win. He pinned him in a minute and 21. Josiah, what do you said? Deutero?
Yeah.
Over Cohen Long. It's another really good win. Cohen Long, a tough freshman, 10-3. They said Deutero's or Josiah's real exciting to watch. I think he's had a real solid season. I know he was the semi-state last year. I know he's been in the rankings. Justice Thornton, real tough, 23-1 over Noah Fields. Wyatt Cooksey over Ricky Sanders. Man, they said Wyatt Cooksey cut the tip of his finger off, and the kid kept grabbing it, so he had a bunch of blood time. Wyatt Cooksey's pretty exciting to watch, too. He had a real exciting match with Zara Walker at the Al Smith.
Nice.
He got a lot of fan reaction out of that one.
Oh, yes, he did. Yes, very much so.
Luke Forsythe of Terre Haute South over Luke Spurgeon of the Columbus North. Asher Ratliff over Jesus Lopez. Asher Ratliff having a real good year, 27-2 sophomore.
And he's also the quarterback for their football team.
I've seen that. Evan Rowdy Bush over Quay Bender. That's a good match. I thought Quay Bender looked really good at Team State. Watched some of his matches. Rowdy Bush with a 1 minute and 46-second fall. His two losses. Did he get two? He didn't get two losses at Al Smith, right? He ended up 30 at one.
Yeah. He lost to. His losses are to. We only have Kressel. He has two losses.
It said two on there. I don't know. Cooper McCloy, Terre Haute South over James Hastings. You think their bracket's wrong?
No. I doubt it. We'll have to see.
Colin Cassad over Javon Hargens. Colin Cassad 29-1. Brandon Freeman, Terre Haute South over Oliver Highwooskin, Bloomington South. Man, I'm glad I wasn't in the big gym because that would have been a tough name to call. I'd be butchered on Monday. By fall. And then Sean Murphy, Terre Haute South over Alec Lozano. Terre Haute South closes with some really good big guys. I think, they won 75, 65 they were runner-up, 75 they were champ, 90 they were champ, 215 they were champ, heavyweight they were champ.
The other loss that Rowdy Bush has is to Bryce Griffin from Civic Memorial, 4-2.
Ah.
So that's why we don't have that on record. So I thought they did track, and so they did. So thank you, coaches at Bloomington South, for utilizing track, and we can find that pretty quickly. So yeah, that's a pretty solid loss. Bryce Griffin is pretty tough. He won the Steve Bradley Invitational. Not the Stephen Bradley Invitational, though.
Oh, so the Steve Bradley got an invitational? Did you get a scholarship to Marion?
I guess so. I believe that is must be a Kentucky tournament.
If you run up, you get to go to Lincoln College. If you're a champ, you go to Marion.
Yeah. He wrestled at the Beast of the East. Wow, interesting. That's pretty good. So yeah, that looks like they wrestle a pretty good schedule. The Steve Bradley Invite. I don't know where Steve Bradley is. Oh, it's an Illinois event at Civic. Oh, it's at Civic Memorial. I guess I was thinking Civic Memorial was a Kentucky team.
I thought you were going to tell me it was at Beech Grove. I knew Civic Memorial because they said when they were doing the Al Smith versus versus the Al Smith versus Modern Day Classic. They said that'd be a major. I said, those guys wrestled at IPO like 2 months ago. It wasn't a major then. What would make it a major now?
Yeah. Yeah. So.
So they're definitely a good tournament. What else did we have?
Nothing. Duneland. That's already that one. Yeah, nothing else really.
MIC.
Oh yeah, MIC. Why didn't I? There it is. Metropolitan.
No one got that one. All right.
It's only 6 teams now, so missing Center Grove and Carmel kind of got booted. So a little bit. It's only 6 teams. Let's see. Any of the big matches.
One of the things I really like about conference time is everyone starts putting their record in, and then I'll be like, oh man, this guy's 40-2.
Yeah.
Like, how did I miss this?
Yeah. There's Donald Bowie. One of the big ones, 132. Donald Bowie over Keith Parker and sudden victory. Parker's only second loss. So it was a good.
Yeah, that's. I think Donald Bowie looked really good at Al Smith. I know talking to the Warren Central guys, they thought he was going to be all right. I know he had a real good match, I believe, with Sonny Sessa, and I forgot who his other. He had another tight match there, but real tough freshman.
Yeah. Pike with a couple champions at 44 and 50. Anthony Cashman won at 57.
What's the 150 kid's name?
Emmanuel Acapadija.
Yep. Jesse Franklin in there. He was one of the guys in the rankings. I know he was a semi-state guy last year. Good to see him back out there. I haven't seen much from him this year.
Yeah.
So he's at 150.
Only
Aaron Durham's third there.
Yep. Only 12 matches on the year, so obviously he's back from something.
Shout out to Anthony Cashman. I seen that he committed to Wabash.
Yes, I saw that too. I need to get that up on the site. I saw that, and that was he gave me the reminder that yes, he did. So I can't post everything, but try to see that stuff and try to get it up as soon as you see it. Then Kressel over Gage Eccles. Eccles is having a pretty good season, and Kressel is also, to say the least.
Yep.
Brenton Russell over Michael White by Tech Fall. That's pretty impressive because.
Yeah, Michael White's had some good wins this year too.
White beat Chase Leach, and Leach beat Russell. So then Russell decides he's just going to attack Michael White. So,
Russell's pretty exciting to watch.
Yeah,
he's one of those guys. Like if he's on a mat, you're gonna want to go watch what he's doing because he does a good job.
Yeah.
Cameron Bevan of Pike's having a good season too. He's had some nice wins.
Mm-hmm.
He was fourth.
Ryland Smith at 190 over Wyatt Cross. Brandon Johnson of Lawrence North. He likes to put points up. And Tyreek Helton, a freshman from Ben Davis. I know we got him in the rankings over Paris Green. Freshman over a senior. That's pretty impressive. at heavyweight. Yeah. So I want to see this kid. Obviously, he has to be pretty well put together for being a heavyweight. That's 28-5 as a freshman. And Ben Davis also a good schedule too, so you have to see what this guy looks like because I'm pretty positive he probably looks like a man child. So,
you're winning a conference at the heavyweight as a freshman's tough.
Yeah. Is that senior? Oh no, wrong. Tyreek Hinton. It's like oof. So anything we want to talk about?
I forgot what conference they're in. I saw Jalen May was back on the mat.
Yes.
Which is good. At 113 also. I know there were some people saying they didn't know if he was going to make 13, but he wrestled 13 this past weekend. Yeah. So he'll be in the mix.
That's a big one for the state, really, for anybody that's going to be in that mix. He's going to make a pretty big impact at 113, especially in our semi-state and stuff. So that'll be a big one to see. Let's see. Anything we want to go over for this week? Anything we want to preview?
I think we kind of hit all the conferences. I mean, I don't know, because the conferences got moved. I'm not sure. what it goes to now, like what we hit and what we didn't hit.
Yeah.
I'd also like Eastern Indiana. A lot of their conferences are this week, right?
Yeah,
They're normally this
Northeastern
weekend
and
report.
yeah. So we'll be keeping our eyes on a couple of them because I've heard some rumors of some things happening. So we'll check that out. Allen County, the ACAC, Allen County Athletic Conference, with only two teams from Allen County. It should be good with Adams Central and Jay County, South Adams, Bluffton. That's always a pretty solid conference. Let's see. The Northeast 8, Belmont, East Noble, Columbia City, New Haven, Norwell, Huntington North, DeKalb, Leo. That'll be another good one. We have three state teams there, so that's always good. That Southern Illinois Athletic Conference, I think Mater Dei has won about 40 of the last 42 conference titles there.
Man, that's a pretty good run for those guys.
They've run. I mean, Castle had a good run for a little bit, but man, they've won a lot. The records they have. Cannot not mention the NECC for our friends in Brushy Prairie and Garrett. Prairie Heights, Garrett. They're kind of leaders of the pack. Eastside has some good wrestlers there. So
yeah, they have some solid individuals.
Yeah. The Pocket Athletic Conference, that's like a huge one. Boonville, Heritage Hills, Mount Vernon Posey, Tell City, Princeton, Pike Central, Tecumseh, North Posey. So that should be pretty good. That's about the biggest ones.
Coach Hidalgo said River Forest won his 5th consecutive GSSC Conference Championship. 6 wrestlers in the finals, 2 champs, Dieras Beeson, 190, and Michael Turner. I was really impressed with both those guys at the Harvest Classic. 4 runners up, 14 wrestlers placed. So proud of these dudes.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, that's winning 5 conferences. Winning a conference title, no matter where it is, winning it multiple times in a row is pretty impressive for schools. So it's not easy to continue, especially at the small school level, continue that kind of success every year. So
yeah, let's get them into Team State. Where are they falling? I think they were 2A, but I thought they were 1A at one point.
Yeah. So the main thing we're gonna do today is go over our kind of some grade rankings. We'll probably do. Let's see. It's only 10 o'clock my time, so it's early. Do we want to do pound for pound and then go from there, or go from freshman to? I don't know if I even did the freshmen.
We can do freshmen. We can close it pound for pound.
Yeah, let's do.
Did you not do the freshman ones?
I kind of did, but we'll go after yours. yours are a little bit. I kind of just put them in kind of batches. So we'll update the website with these, the ones that we go over afterward. So freshmen, they're a little bit harder to rank, obviously, especially when you have a lot of guys that are in the rankings at lower weights versus guys like Peyton Hornsby and Clinton Shepard are both at 138. Someone like Braylon Reynolds, who has a handful of losses, but he's up at 126, where that's some meat grinder of a weight. Aiden Kincaid at 57. Sam Howard of Boonville. Those some of the guys that are bigger guys that are Alex Tatum from Hobart, 190. How do you? Where's that Tyree Hinton from Ben Davis definitely should be in the mix too, because he's had you're winning 30 plus matches at heavyweight as a freshman. That's pretty good. So it's kind of hard to.
I did not have one. I only did the top 10. Joe looks like he did the 20.
Yeah, I kind of did that 20. That was a little bit before. That was an early one. So we'll go over our top 10, and then.
Ooh, I might have missed one.
Who was
I might
that?
have changed one of my picks.
Uh-oh. Which one you?
Yeah, probably that one. Yep.
Which one? I did not see it. I don't see you updating it yet.
I'm gonna update it. Yeah, I think you had the right idea there. I missed that one.
Okay. Yes, I see you now. Okay, so what number are you putting with him? I can see you're editing, but
yeah, I think the same.
Okay. So the easiest one probably is our number one. I think Clinton Shepard probably earns that one. Pretty easy. Fargo third, number one ranked right now. Having a pretty good season.
Beat a state runner-up, beat a state champ in the season, beat a state runner-up twice in the season.
Yeah. So, so he definitely, the Fargo, honestly, in these, we kind of look more national type level success before we start looking down, state rankings or state placements, and placing that Fargo as an eighth grader and that deep of a weight class, that's pretty impressive. Should have been in the finals. We all know that.
Yeah.
So,
I could have been a champ. I think the guy that he kind of got a bad call against ended up kind of smoking the guy in the finals.
Yeah. So, Jensen Boyd, number two. He's number one ranked. He has quite a few national accolades to his credit too. Fargo and Super 32 are kind of the elite level of rankings. So
yeah.
That's something that you have to keep in mind. We agreed definitely on Gavin Lewis at 113. Kind of a slow start to his season so far, but then he kind of started picking it up and having a real good season there. Ranked.
Russell Dickman incredibly tight.
Yeah. Yes, he did. So I don't have those rankings updated. So I'll have to do those later. Number 4, Peyton Hornsby from New Pal. He's taken some losses, but he's wrestling, like you said, we said earlier. He's wrestling at 138. He was a national triple crown for 14U. So old school people, that's schoolboy. So that's pretty impressive. And coming in on the younger side, and then also wrestling 138. That's or as they say, true freshman.
And like his 3 losses, like I said, 1 to Kyrell, 2 to Whitehead. I think those guys got medals already.
Yeah,
it's pretty tough. He's a really tough freshman.
Yeah. Number 5, Braylon Reynolds from Brownsburg. Another one pretty similar to Hornsby. Just he's wrestled some tough kids, and especially wrestling like Luke Rio like every other week down the road. Yeah. He's gonna rack up some losses, but he's pretty tough.
He's got 2 tight losses to LT Hawkins now. I believe he has 2 losses to Rio, and then he has a loss to Schaefer at a team state.
Yeah. Yep.
So pretty elite company there for Braylon Reynolds' Lost Club.
Yeah. Those aren't those guys are going to come back in 3 years and say, "Wow, I'm one of his probably 10 career Indiana losses." He'll have a little bit more just because Derek's mean and makes his kids wrestle at Iron Man and stuff like that. So, number 6, Brady Harper from Penn. Another one just has a lot of good national level credentials. Pretty tough freshman. Made the finals at the
Al Smith.
So,
lost to Gavin Lewis. Had a loss earlier in the season to
Button.
The Portage kid. Yeah, Owen Button.
So,
but pretty solid freshman there.
Yeah. Another good Penn one, Angelo Vargo, 132. Could maybe that's we're starting to get into putting in the higher weights. So the higher weight ones are always kind of hard to rank because it's going to take a couple years for them to really get garner state medals. If they do, if you're 132 or above and you're grabbing a state medal, you jump up pretty high, even over guys that placed higher at the lower weights. So Vargo, pretty tough freshman. Obviously, he's done pretty well in state. And we just talked about this.
Then we had a couple where we were not on the same page here, right? Like we were. I went one way, you went the other way.
Yeah. So we'll stick with yours because yours are probably a little bit more thought out. I don't know. Because I did these a while ago. So number 8, Aiden Kincaid from Noblesville. We talked about him earlier. Real good season so far at 157. Or is he at
Yeah, just took a tight loss to Mason Day.
Yeah.
At the conference.
Yeah. So he's pretty tough. I guess number 9. I haven't seen too many results from him, but I know he's pretty solid. Sam Howard from
I believe he's
Boonville.
undefeated still, right?
That's pretty good. At 175 as a freshman, that's not bad. And I know they've wrestled a lot of matches. So, I guess, are they? We'll double check. Boonville. Let's see, do they have anything on track? They wrestle.
Boone Vegas.
Well, they don't have too pack conference. I doubt they have the brackets done yet. Nope. Okay. So, and then number 10, Caleb Schaefer from Mater Dei. So
yeah, I've been really impressed with them. I was probably lower on him on the ranking side starting the season, and then he's had some really good matches. I think he's wrestled Rio pretty tough. The couple times they've seen him, so pretty impressive resume so far for Caleb Schaefer.
Yeah, and we'll probably afterward go over these a little bit and do at least maybe put 15 to 20. Not in the best order probably, but once you get down past the top 10, it kind of gets a little, dicey of trying to put them in a good solid order.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, now's the time that these guys are starting making their name. Like Donald Bowie probably be higher on the list now. He had a huge win over Keith Parker. So it'll be interesting to see kind of where those guys fall at.
Yeah. So that's our freshmen. We'll see what we have here. Man, who do I have at number 2?
For 26?
Yeah, 120. At 2026, which is our sophomores. But okay, we got a little bit of disagreements here. Let's see.
Couple.
So we'll have to discuss.
Number 1, we're on the same page, though.
Yes, we are very much on the same page here. Number 1, Revan Dickman. He definitely has he has an argument to be number 1 pound for pound and all.
Yeah.
So that's one of those things that we could argue that.
Champ,
yeah.
Beat a world champ this year. Yeah. Like, pretty good.
2-time Ironman placers, placed at Fargo a few times. Nationally ranked. He has a pretty darn good resume for 1.5 season, 1.75 seasons in so far.
Yeah, so we're unanimous at number 1.
Yes.
Number 2, we're on the same page.
2 through 5 were a little bit, yeah. That's an interesting one. I have Kressel, and you have Thrine. So,
I mean, undefeated freshman, knocked off a pretty good Indiana wrestler. I mean,
yeah.
Logan Frazier was in the semis 4 times. That's a huge win.
Yeah.
He doesn't wrestle as many national events. He's not and dude's fearless, man.
Yeah.
Like, it'd have been easy for him to say, I'm not gonna be in the same weight as Logan Frazier last year, winning that weight still. In a weight this year with Jake Hockaday. I mean, I think that's gonna be fireworks.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, especially through these top 5 guys, or actually top 6-ish, you're kind of splitting hairs. In all honesty, I mean, you can make an argument for any of these guys.
I got 2 number 5s. Mine's off.
Yeah. So anyone through basically the top 6, or even, I mean, honestly, this whole top 10 is pretty solid overall, and you can probably split hairs to make arguments for the guys to move up, a few spots. I'll give you Thrine there. Number 3, I had Thrine. You have Nate Rio. I guess your top 5 would be Nate Rio, Hyvert, and Kressel. My top 5 would be Kressel, Thrine, Rio, Hyvert. So I guess the main thing is, where do we put Kressel? And then everyone else falls in.
we're kind of both in the mix with Rio. Rio's had some national success also.
Yeah.
And honestly, if there wasn't a Revan Dickman, he might be a state champ right now too.
Yeah, we might be talking about him being number one. I mean, he really hasn't been. He hasn't lost in Indiana other than Revan Dickman. His 14 losses to Revan Dickman.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't. I guess I mean I really don't have a problem with him number 3 because, when you say it that way, that's hard to even. Heck, you can make a pretty good argument for him being number 2.
Yeah. And it's tough. And like Kressel, obviously, was he a runner-up as an 8th grader and then a champ as a freshman in North Dakota?
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty good.
At big weights.
Yeah, at big weights, and his only loss in this year's to Reinhardt, which was a really good match.
Mm-hmm. So.
Hybert, obviously we know he's really good, and he's gonna make a run at the takedown record. Man, I would love to see him wrestling more high level stuff. Not that they're wrestling low level stuff. I'm not trying to trash the people he's wrestling, but you want to see him in some of those bigger events. I'd love to see him at Ironman as an individual, at Al Smith, at Modern, even at Mooresville, somewhere where he's going to see some guys with some medals.
Yeah, definitely. So that makes it hard to kind of judge exactly where we put him because he's had success on the national level. He hasn't had the placements, but he's been right in the. I know, was it last year or the year before? He's real close to placing at Fargo, Blood Round. I mean, he doesn't have those medals, but he's in the mix there, and he's
And even so the rankings, I do get some pushback on his ranking, because he's behind Parker Reynolds, and obviously we're gonna get to Parker in a second too, because I think 6 and 7. We'll talk about that, but Jeffrey did take a loss to Tommy Gibb, at IPO this year.
Yeah.
And Tommy Gibb's not in the top 10 for me right now, but I mean that's an in-state loss at a national tournament,
Yeah. Yeah. So that's kind of tough. I would say probably Kressel, just because I don't know. I think his title and everything, and then Hybert, but. I guess we're splitting hairs at this point.
6 and 7, kind of similar, kind of different reasons. Two guys at high upside that next year could probably be higher on the list.
Yeah.
I know when we did the list last year, Landon Hawkins was the one. He was the top incoming freshman, right?
Yeah.
And then lost a year. And no one's there's no one's fault but his own. Yeah. But incredibly tough. Was in the round of place at Ironman. Wrestled really good at Carnahan. Could be in the mix for a title. So, but right now, just the in-state stuff. I had him at 6. I think you had him. You put those guys lower.
Well, I just had him as a. I didn't really have him totally ranked because I had him as a marker. I didn't have that totally ranked at that time. He was oh crap! He was down on the list without any credentials, so I needed to move him up, like a lot of the guys. So him at 6 is no, that's not a problem. And then we got Parker Reynolds at number 7,
And again, his ranking's more affected by a health issue that he had last year that, he was able to get fixed this offseason. And he looks like he's doing pretty well. But, you just never know how he went down. I watched him wrestle Reese Courtney, who was a runner-up at Team State last year, and he looked like a world beater. Mm-hmm. But you could tell that there was something off with what was going on with them, and it kind of, came back at the worst time and got him, and I still think he's going to do really well. Like I said, those are 2 guys that are wild cards in there that I think. Parker Reynolds, I think he has a win over Ben Davino at some point. Mm-hmm. Ben Davino is ranked number 1 in the country.
Yeah. So both those guys have had a lot of in-state and national level youth kind of success, and this is about that year where you're going to kind of make or break. They could jump up 3 or 4 spots or drop 10 spots. Based on how they do at state. That type of stuff and. This is the sophomore year is kind of that year where you still got to keep in mind what they've done in middle school and stuff, but you also got to drop, you got to draw that line of saying, hey, we know you were good back when you were you're a kitty beater, but now it's time to wrestle boys or men.
Yeah.
So.
Boys two men? Okay.
Boys two men, yes.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're doing there.
Yeah, so number 8, pretty, 8 and 9 are pretty, they're interchangeable, I'd say. Both finished 6th last year at state.
I had them one way, you flipped them the other way.
Yeah.
2 really good athletes, 2 really good football players, I believe.
Yeah. One better be a really good football player.
Yeah. Vinny Freeman, Kyle Harden. You had a Kyle Harden, Vinny Freeman. I had the flip on that.
Yeah.
Both medalists for freshmen at a high weight. I think we threw that information out last week about guys that were making runs at bigger weights. Those guys did pretty well.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So that's one of those things. I mean, we could sit here arguing. I'm fine with them either way.
I heard Kyle Harden might be out for the year, and that's disappointing. I really like watching Kyle Harden wrestle.
Yes, I really like just having his dad at tournaments because he has good wings.
He does have good wings.
Yes, Rocco about ate his all of them. He's got to get like 10 pounds of wings next time he comes. So so that's hopefully he's not out, but at the same time, obviously, if he's out, got 2 more years of him, so at least we get to see him 2 more times through the state tournament. So number 10, this one probably, since I had him at number 10, but I had some guys higher. That was before the season had started, but definitely Jackson Bradley's probably our number 10 for right now. A lot of good candidates down here.
10 and 11 are probably gonna get to work that out this year, I think.
Yeah,
those guys, same semi-state. They're gonna find out 10 and 11 who's that spot there. Jackson Bradley, Carter Fielden.
Yeah,
a couple medals after that. Landon Haynes got a medal. Gunnar Butts got a medal. Logan Haney's got a medal. Matthew Baylor's got a medal.
Yeah, you got guys like Van Titchell, Jet Goldsberry. Both guys had good success at upper weights. Let's see, Brant Beck qualified at 150 or 160 last year. Lane Horn, Eli Brody.
Lane Horn was much higher on the list last year. Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of guys with some solid credentials, and this is one that's, I guarantee when we do this, hopefully this summer or whatever, there's going to be a lot of fluctuation in this, and definitely the 11 through 20 is going to be kind of volatile. So,
I think that's going to be. There's going to be some guys. You're right. This is the year that like kind of people turn the corner. I mean, look at like a Reese Humphrey, like state qualifier as a freshman, lost Friday night to Angel, comes back and runs off 3 titles. Yeah,
like we have like a Mason Goals from Avon, who was JV last year, and now he's on our he's kind of on my little watch list of, hey, this guy might be someone that could. I mean, he could, he's definitely in the mix to place top 4 at the state, and could easily, jump up into the top 10, top 15 and stuff like that. Tommy Gibbs, another kid that was JV, having a real good season. So he actually beat Hybert. So
yeah,
that tells you where he kind of fits in here, anywhere from 4 to 20.
So. Yeah, I think. Oh yeah, and I think of course like there's gonna be guys that are like on this list here where like past even the 20 that we had on there that are gonna make some noise. Asher Ratliff is real good. Not only is he like a really good wrestler, he's a really good athlete overall. Can make a run. Austin Reading's had a good season. Sear Goodwise had a lot of really good results this summer.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see at the end of the year where all this kind of falls at. Like obviously we have a better feel on the list of this one with some of the results that we've seen.
Yeah. Do we want to do juniors and wait for the pound for pound and seniors for next week? Since next week will be a little bit slower week.
Yeah.
Let's do juniors. We'll do our top 10 for juniors. Man, we were pretty much only had one interchanged one. And We had two interchange. Everyone else was pretty much the same. Pretty impressive.
I think number one unanimous. Pretty good. Heather Crawl, man. Congratulations, girl state champ now. She's on the list, but Jake Hockaday. Yes. Jake Hockaday, 2-time champ. Yes. Going for his third. He's in a tough weight with Thrawn amongst other guys, but that'll be a good one. We both were number one on that. I did my class rankings after team state, so I had Gavin Gendris number 2.
Yeah, that's pretty. I mean, he's looking like a state champ right now, so obviously he has a lot of really good quality wins, and dominating. So that's pretty easy there.
He's been in the blood round a couple national tournaments, but hasn't All-American, right?
Correct. So number 3, Gunnar Henry, another one that's twice placed third, placed at Super 32, won IPO. No, he lost. He's second at IPO. So yeah, should be. I mean, he's been pretty consistent, especially at an upper weight. So that's always pretty good. This is 4 and 5 is where we have a little bit of disagreement. You have Bollinger, then Reinhardt. I have Reinhardt, then Bollinger. Reinhardt likes to throw monkey wrenches into things.
I think it was tough. Like Bollinger, his only losses last year was at state. Beat really good Lane Horn. I mean, I was really high on Lane Horn last year. Beat him at the semi-state. Again, ran into a real tough weight with
Dickman.
Hockaday, or not Hockaday, but
Dickman.
Dickman and Rio. But and Reinhardt, real solid freshman year, missed weight as a sophomore. So I mean, I think he would have done really well. I'm sure he'd been right in the mix, but I think it's. I know he's kind of been in the blood rounds, national events. I mean, Bollinger, I don't know if he has, but I gotta give Delta some love, man. You gotta give the.
Yeah, that's I mean, splitting hairs again there. Reinhardt, if Reinhardt has a state medal from last year, top 3 medal, he's probably hard to not put it for. But
I mean, depending on how he would have placed, he might have been at 3.
Yeah, definitely. So 4, 5. I mean, again, splitting hairs. 6, 7.
I mean, Reinhardt had wins over the 3rd and 4th placer last year at state, right?
Yeah. So 6, 7, Aiden Costello. You have Costello 6 and Isaiah Schaefer 7. I have Schaefer 6 and Costello 7. Probably more lean towards yours, especially after Costello's. That was before Costello's Al Smith run, so mine are a little bit staler of rankings, to say the least. But yeah, that's and Schaefer's having a good year too, so that's not even splitting hairs. Schaefer made it to the blood round at Super 32. And ranked number 1 in a pretty solid weight class right now. So 2 state medals, probably lower than he has won. 2 7th place medals, but those are kind of very much with asterisks because they're tough weights, and he ran into someone pretty good in the
quarters. He had Ashton Jackson. That was a great match.
Yeah,
last year. And then I think he lost to Tishner after that, I believe.
Let's see, who did he wrestle? There's a website for that. He lost to He lost to Jackson, then Tishner.
And then he beat Tishner at Super 32, right?
Yeah. And then it would have been Gendris, who wrestled in the quarters as a freshman. So
pretty tough.
Yeah. Not an easy route for him. So again, kind of splitting hairs there. Number 8, Eddie Goss. We were unanimous on that.
Got a couple of medals.
Yeah.
He's been an Indianapolis showstopper. He's gonna try to take that Indianapolis hype train to Evansville.
Yeah.
Knocked out Tanner Tishner a couple of years.
Yes, he has. So then number 9, Michael Major from Carmel. He's qualifier in 5th. Obviously, he is not wrestling right now, and don't foresee him. So that's going to be an interesting kind of where he, you don't want to hold that against him, but obviously when you don't have the credentials, you kind of fall a little bit, So that'll be interesting. Kind of after the season, if we put this together and see where he lands after a guy's obviously junior year, kind of like we were talking about sophomore year, junior year. If you don't get that state medal, if you don't get that high state medal, you're probably going to be more likely to drop. But if you do, say like someone who Evan Rowdy Bush, who's probably going to be in the mix to be in that top 10. He's having a real good season. He's right now. He's on our kind of watching, keeping an eye on list, and he could easily jump up into top 10, or some people drop based on how they perform at state. You got someone like Christian Arbery, who was 8th last year and having a real good season. He's one that's poised to move right up. So, and
he's wrestling these like tight matches. He's right there.
Yeah,
like Christian Arbery is right there. Like he's one attack away from beating Reese Courtney twice.
Yeah. So Michael Major, number 9, number 10, Devin Kendricks, qualifier and 5th at 220. So, having success at a bigger weight, and he's also undersized. He weighed, 195, 197, something like that at Al Smith. So,
I mean, enough that when we saw the weigh-in sheet, we kind of were like, man, is he gonna drop to 190 for the state tournament? Like, I mean, I think build-wise, he's probably closer. Like, if for college, he's probably closer to 97 than a heavyweight.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. So, yeah, that's going to be one to watch. I mean, that's one of those guys we're going to keep an eye on kind of mentally when we get the sectional brackets next week. Where's he slotting in at? Because he could have easily snuck in a couple weigh-ins, and obviously we don't get access to too many weigh-in sheets, but it's one of those things that we could get a weigh-in sheet and, get word that, hey, he's down at 190, and could definitely shake some things up there.
Oh, yeah. Like, he's been wrestling dudes that are probably full 215, and as the day goes on, it's probably 220.
Yeah.
225. And, 220. He's giving. I mean, think about when you're bumping weights, you're bumping 5 pounds, 32 to 38. That's a huge jump. Then you're jumping 190 to 215, 220. That's even, that's crazy.
Yeah. So yeah. And then, some guys on the list that we're kind of keeping an eye on.
One guy that's on the list that we didn't have, but I think if he comes back, he's right in the top in the mix. Not number 1 would be like a Diaco Pombizi.
Yes.
Who we're still keeping an eye on sectional brackets, possibly seeing if he comes back.
Yeah. He's one that we're keeping an eye out on. There's some murmurs around the greater Fort Wayne area, actually inside the Fort Wayne in the metro Fort Wayne area. So in the 260. So we're gonna obviously. He comes in there. He's probably gonna slot in number 2. I would.
Just committed to Michigan, so Michigan getting some good ones from Indiana.
Yep, they do pretty well with their Indiana guys. So yeah, VZ, and the reason VZ is not in there is he's not in Indiana that we know of as of now. So if he was in obviously we can make up the rankings however we want, but. If he's not wrestling in Indiana this year, we're not going to include him in the grade rankings. So, so that's our juniors, and we'll put these out probably later.
God bless you. And you're going to have some people that they're going to make a run. Coming up, Isaac Ash has a medal. Easton Doster has a couple medals, or has a medal, right? Yeah, a medal. Julian Weems is injured, but ultra talented. Seth Aubin's got a medal. Had a huge win over Charlie LaRocca. Bryce Doss, Christian Arbery, we talked about. Heather Crawl, if she's the first, she might be the first only medalist for female. Like, if it gets sanctioned, she's not going to be able to compete against boys.
Yeah, her and Ocampo are both.
In the girls' side.
Yeah, Ocampo's in there. I don't know if she's on the list or.
Yeah, Ocampo. Like, definitely, I'm sure there's a pound for pound for the girls, too. I think Adrian Palat is. Dude, he's jumped levels. Like his win over Betts at the Al Smith, like he looks like he's got a lot better. So he's a guy that can make a run. He's in the mix for a title.
Let's let's see who else we have here. Looking at the qualifiers.
My guy like Seth Syra just coming out of a tough semi-state hasn't got a chance to punch a ticket yet, but he's incredibly tough.
Levi Johns he was 8th as a freshman. He's been there twice. Jaden Lewis has been to state twice. Justice Thornton, Silas Stitz, Mason Day, Gavin Davis. What camp is
Caleb Stevens wrestling really well right now. This list is a lot longer. Obviously, we have it's pulling from the spreadsheet, but Terry's really good. Weaver's good. Brewer's really good.
Brewer, Noah Terry, Cooper McClory from Terre Haute South. One that he has I think he has the state medal from Kansas, right? Or is he just,
the medalists are qualifier. Yeah. I know the kid at Harrison has a medal from Kansas.
Yeah. Well, these Kansas people getting imported. Actually, no, he's from Missouri. The one guy that's supposed to be going to Purdue, he's from Missouri, I think. That's living in Indiana.
Yeah. He's like a 2-time Missouri champ, right?
Yeah, 3-timer, I'm fairly certain. So there's another one we're kind of keeping an eye on. That's a good reminder.
Yeah,
keep an eye on seeing if he doesn't pop into a sectional bracket. I can't even think of his name offhand. I know I saw him in the national rankings as being out because he's not wrestling at a high school.
You represented Team Indiana at Fargo, correct?
Yes. Let's see. It's like at one. Where's he at? Because I was like, whoa, where's this guy? It's like, let's see, 132. Maybe he's at 138 or 144. 138. No, 44. Chris Coates. So yeah, he's from Kansas. Oh no, he's from Kansas.
Okay.
So all these Kansas people coming to Indiana, I don't know why. So I thought he's from Missouri.
The weather.
The weather.
Christopher Coates, Missouri State champ.
Missouri. Okay. Well, Willie has him as a Kansas, Indiana, Kansas. I don't know. That's interesting. But okay, yeah. So he's lurking at a high school or doing online stuff. So, but you never know when things like that pop up. How many girls got medals at the same weight? Harrison had 2. Yeah, I don't think anyone. I know the girls can allow 2 at a weight, but I don't know who all did. That's pretty cool. I kind of hope they continue if it is sanctioned, and maybe that.
I did too.
And maybe that jumps over into the boys version. Because I think that'd be hard for the IHSA to allow in girls and not boys, or vice versa. So, I have a feeling you will see one of those. I'd love for it to be both, but we'll see how that works. Speaking of IHSA, there's had a talk with someone this weekend, and the bracket reveal show will feature me again and Coach Gable. So
nice. Also, Stray's telling him to lift the academic probation on my daughter. I'll leverage some rankings in there.
I'll put in a good word, but yeah. So
I'd appreciate it.
So yeah, I got invited back, and obviously easy to say yes. So you'll see my smiling face and Coach Gable. Hopefully I did a good job. If you want to shout out, gift cards are good. Portillo's, I'm easily bribed. I'm not gonna lie.
So I have your gift card from Derek Van Tichel last year for Dunkin' Donuts in my truck. I seen it out, Smith. I forgot to bring it in.
Jeez.
Yeah, he wrote a nice handwritten note in there too.
Oh. Well, yeah. Hopefully it's not expired, but yeah.
Your second favorite Indiana media personality behind Rex Brewer.
Behind Rex Brewer. Wow. So yeah, so that's pretty neat, and looking forward to doing that. Looking forward to that again. That was a lot of fun, and it was really cool, kind of seeing the behind the scenes process, and going over that kind of stuff, and very much of a how does it stuff goes on behind the scenes. And I just remember they tell okay commercial this, and then they would play the what I is like I didn't see the video, but they did like the last year's champion recap thing, and I'm like after about 3 or 4 weights, I'm like you guys are playing something because we're just sitting here silent. It's like yeah okay, so it's like yeah we just don't have that monitor that you guys are seeing, so I was like okay I just want to make sure so I know what the lead in, and so it's pretty neat process to be about.
Yeah.
Always they have a nice little cool little studio in the IHSA office, and so it's a busy day there.
That's how I felt when we were doing the Dane show, and he was playing he was playing the commercials. Like, can we not talk right now, or can we not say anything?
Yeah. So I was like, and he's like, I know usually they play like, this is highlights of the last year's finals match of that weight. It'll be interesting how they do it this year with the new weights. So that'll be fun to see. And then,
oh yeah,
I'm sure they'll just kind of go in that same order, and some will be a little bit off, but that's how it is. So yeah, so it should be a good time. That's only a few weeks away.
Yeah,
last weekend of the season.
How are they just gonna? You think that place gonna get packed? Because how many less seats is Evansville than Bankers Life or Gamebridge or Conseco?
It's a few thousand.
So
yeah, it's gonna be very, very interesting how they are, how that works. So, how they're going to do the tickets, and how, if anyone has a suite that you would love the IndianaMat guys to be hanging out with you, we definitely would love to join you.
We'll get you a t-shirt.
Yeah, we'll get you some gear. I'll load you up with a lot of gear. We can get you a backpack. We can get you exclusive Pittsburgh Wrestling Classic gear. Anything, talk to us. I'll get you a Mr. Gorilla award.
Whoever gets us a suite, get a Mr. Gorilla fan of the year.
Yeah, Mr. Gorilla fan of the year.
When we went to Gulf Shores one year for nationals, we took fourth, and the tournament director was like, "Hey, I need to talk to you about your fans." And I was like, "What?" And he was like, every year we hand out a sportsmanship award for like the best fans, and your guys' group was great the whole year, so they give us a big trophy. And I was like, man, I thought it was gonna be bad, so I'll give you one of those.
Yes. Oh boy, I can only imagine, especially at I've been to some pretty heated 8U games.
Oh yeah, they get rowdy, man. It makes wrestling look a little tame.
Yeah, yes, it does actually. For baseball, it gets the 8U house league. That's pretty competitive. I'll tell you that much. I didn't expect the
AU's like the stepping stone right to the majors.
Yes, I know. I saw a lot of scouts there with watching those kids.
Radar and coaching pitch.
Yeah.
That's the worst. Coach pitch was the worst. I was acing girls. I couldn't will those girls to hit me, and I felt terrible just striking them out.
The one guy that I guess is the one that pitches mainly for our team. He does a real good job, and like one of the practices I actually started us pitching to kids. And they make you pitch off a mound. Like, they have, like, the portable mounds that they make you pitch off of. And I'm like, okay. I go, that is so much. I mean, you're putting us up, they're 6-8 inches maybe. And then I have my son who's about 2'4". I'm like, dude, his strike zone's like the size of a cell phone. I'm like, man, I feel bad for you, but I'm like, this is horrible.
It's the worst, man. It sucks. It's the worst.
The one guy that does it for us, he did like a lob, like, which would be like 6U ish, and he had a game before ours this fall, and he's like, yeah, threw an immaculate inning earlier in the day. I'm gonna see if I can do it again here.
I was like one of those things. I used to feel terrible striking the girls out. Like, please.
Yeah, hit the ball. You can't put it. Yeah, that's rough. Especially I would not want to be that coach. And I'm like, just let me pitch. I'll strike my kid out. Then I'll celebrate.
Yeah. Unless they go yard on you, then they flip the bat on you.
Yes. See, Rocco, when we play in the backyard when we're practicing, if I strike him out before he gets like a hit, he has to do push-ups.
Nice. So he doesn't have to do a lot of push-ups, huh?
No, he does a lot. I don't mess around. I'm throwing heat, man. While I can take advantage of it and he can't hit off me that well, I'm going to take advantage of it before he's bat flipping and doing cartwheels to first base after he hits it over the neighbor's house. So, yeah, softball and baseball parents are crazy. Yes. We had a parent that got suspended for a couple games in our league. That was fun.
And in-house?
Yeah.
Crown Point had so many girls. I don't remember if there was anybody that ever got suspended. I know there was like coaches that they were like, yeah, we don't want them back.
Yeah.
But I don't remember if anyone was ever like kicked out. We didn't have any of those like following people in the parking lot incidents. I've been at tournaments where that's happened. Nice. Where it's like, come on, man. Dude, like this is like a call on a dude. You're gonna play again next weekend. Why? Like you're flipping out about what?
Yeah. You
ever think the parents that do that, they're like in the back of the cop car, is like that escalated, man.
That escalated quickly. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, that was the one parent that got. I'll side with her a little bit, and her son got hit twice in the game, and the coach, like both times was the first time he was trying to get. We had really young refs, like middle school, maybe freshmanish kind of kids ref. They did a good. Sorry.
Iron.
They're pretty good. They were pretty solid. I was very impressed with what they handled and stuff. And this one. The first time the kid kind of did he's kind of swung. I mean, if this is a major league, they're going to probably call it a swing, but this is 8U. And the coach was like, that should have been a swing. That was a strike. It doesn't matter that he got hit. And I'm like, the kid got hit. He was trying to avoid the ball and, swung. I mean, he's 7 years old. What do you expect? And so she was a little bit hot about that. And then he got hit again, and she kind of went off on that coach, which... Coach probably.
Like she thought they were throwing at her kid?
No, just because he was kind of being insensitive when the kid got hit, and the kid was obviously a little bit upset and shaken and stuff. So it was just a whole like boiling over competitive game, and that coach was chirping the whole time, and it was like this. You thought this was the World Series, and from on.
People are crazy, bro.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's the same at wrestling. I know we've heard some like good old wrestling, ISWA stories.
Oh yes.
We got a cavalcade of those stories too. Heard a crazy story from Team State.
yes. There's one from this year that we haven't got confirmation of that, but
yeah, I haven't heard. Yeah, actually. Speaking of people getting credit, let's hear that story.
Yeah. So if don't put it in the comments, please. But if you have confirmation of any craziness at Franklin, send us a personal message to confirm or deny it.
Yeah. So I guess that's not happening at a lot of tournaments. Maybe it is, but
yeah. Parents.
That's pretty crazy. I heard that, and I was like, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's like even crazy for region.
That's what we call Tuesdays.
That's Tuesdays.
If that doesn't
at
happen tomorrow
practice.
at Mount Carmel, I'm gonna be disappointed.
Yeah. So that's just as a reminder, it is going on. So Brett Kilroy says 100. Let's see, where is he from? He's from New York, so I don't know who he is. Just seeing if seeing if that guy knows who we're talking about or what we're talking about. So yeah. Tomorrow night,
craziness.
I believe it's on the Mount Carmel Sports Network on YouTube or whatever it's called. We'll share the link when we get it.
We share the link in there. I'm sure it's going to be good. Sounds like Mount Carmel's pretty fired up, man.
Joe Butler's asking if we discussed the incident at Girls State.
That was awesome, crazy.
I heard something.
I might have seen a video.
Yeah, I seen a video. We'll have to talk with you, Mr. Butler, privately to see if we're talking about the same thing. But something, if we're talking about the same thing, I don't think it was a very good thing. Yes.
A representation of Indiana wrestling.
Yes, I do not think it is good for Indiana wrestling, and I think people need to realize who makes the calls. So, oh no, Hatgate. Oh, he's talking about Hatgate. They did wear the cowboy hats. They did wear the cowboy hats on the stand at least. I think that was. I think that must have been at least semi-resolved, and that's good that they were able to wear their cowboy hats on the stand. You know, obviously I can understand if, you know, they have glitter and all that kind of stuff and gets on the mats, and I fully understand that kind of stuff, but, you know, let them wear them on the stand if they want to wear a goofy hat. What?
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
You fully understand because the amount of glitter that gets on you?
Okay. Oh, okay. Now he mentioned something else too. So, the other thing that we're maybe hinting towards.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, we don't discuss that kind of stuff here. We like to discuss that on the pre-show, Joe. That is for the pay-per-view pre-show.
Yeah.
And post-show.
I think it's getting to the end of the year, and a lot of people are starting to get a little bit more tight. There's a lot more angst, I guess.
Yes.
So it'll be interesting to see how it goes with tomorrow at Mount Carmel and CP 1 versus 1.
Yep, should be great. And we got new
fired up.
Yeah. We did get new rankings out, team rankings, final dual rankings. We'll have at least 1 or 2 more power poll rankings. Do we need to go over those again? No.
Nah, I like it, man. That brings the people to the site.
Yes, it does. So, anything else we need to discuss today?
Nope. I think that's it, man. Now, hopefully this frigid weather is about done. Eric, I still got your laundry's up in my truck, man. You got to flag me down. I won't be at Mount Carmel, but maybe at the DAC.
Okay. That sounds good. I might sneak over to SAC on Saturday.
Yeah.
Interesting. There's
you open the door. You let the rowdiness in, man.
Aiding and abetting but yeah, so it might stop. So yeah,
dude, that's the real craziness of like if that happened for real and you just walked out like nothing happened.
Yeah. Yes.
That's next level. Good for him.
Yeah.
Keep your composure. Yeah, I think once we get closer for state, we'll have to get some food option things going.
Yep.
But
I'll probably talk to Coach Gable. We'll find the finer spots in Evansville, and we will make. Right now, we are planning we meaning Triple B is planning to. We're gonna have like a little social get together Thursday night, and maybe go live possibly if there's internet in Evansville. So
yeah, man, I'm gonna try to come down for it too. I wanna be at this live show, meeting some fans, hanging out.
Yep.
I thought we were taking a party bus. That's not happening anymore.
We gotta look at how many Gorilla subscriptions we have right now. We need about 100 more.
Go purchase a couple of Gorilla subscriptions with this party bus.
Yes. You get a free ride if you purchase a year's worth of Gorilla subscriptions. So, that's what I'm. Honestly, because my wife and kids are not going to be going this year. So, if anyone wants to hitch a ride, I'm definitely up to doing that. So
I'm awesome. My wife and kids aren't going either. So
unless you drive through, are you going to drive through like Indy? I can meet you in Indy.
I was Fort. I think you're gonna ask me if I'm driving through Fort Wayne. Like, I'm not going going straight down.
You're gonna go do an L all the way down.
I'm grabbing the Terre Haute South Pass and Expedition. We're all trying to get there.
So yeah, we'll figure that.
What was up with the tag today? We're picking him up.
Oh, I'm sure he'll have lots of nice things to say.
How about you? He knows that I'm that guy, man. I don't know about him.
So yeah, with that, I think we're good for tonight. You might want to hang on because I don't know exactly how I'm going to shut this stream off because my thing's going without able to close it. So hang on, Mike, after I close this off, and We'll talk. We'll do our after show and figure out all sorts of fun things. So, with that, we're gonna let you guys go, and we'll see you probably Wednesday. I'll see you Wednesday, probably Wednesday or Thursday. I gotta talk to Brandon, but we'll see you next.
I'm gonna
Monday.
drop some comments in there.
Okay, we'll see you guys later. Thanks for joining us.